Back in April, the worldwide release of the latest James Bond film, No Time to Die, was due to hit theaters. Then came the global lockdown, and just as the marketing started ramping up, those plans were quickly scuttled. Very little is known about the plot of the latest James Bond movie. Fleabag and Killing Eve writer Phoebe Waller-Bridge was brought on allegedly at the request of Daniel Craig to punch up the film's humor. Reports of behind-the-scenes turmoil persisted during production, with alleged arguments on set between star Craig and director Cary Fukunaga, the script which some were saying was being written on the fly, Craig's injury during filming, and the film ultimately being delayed. Now, some details have surfaced regarding the film's plot. Sources close to the production have relayed information exclusively to Midnight's Edge, which may shed some light on the plot of the film. First, we'll go over what we already know about the plot of the film. Then we'll cover the new information that's been reported on and the exclusive information that's been made available to Midnight's Edge, and what it means for Britain's greatest secret agent. The following information may contain spoilers for the upcoming film No Time to Die. Furthermore, much of what you are about to hear cannot be independently verified and should be treated as rumor and is to be taken with the proverbial grain of salt. If you would not like the film to potentially be spoiled for you, then please stop listening now. If you are still listening, then consider yourself adequately warned. At the end of the previous Bond film, Spectre, Bond drives off with Madeleine Swann seemingly riding off into the sunset to enjoy a well-earned retirement. Bond is then called back into action after a 5-year layoff. It has been widely reported that Captain Marvel actress Lashana Lynch would play a new agent, introduced in a scene that is described as a popcorn-dropping moment where she would enter M's offices and be introduced as the new 007. In the first trailer, we see Lynch's character telling Bond that the world has moved on. There have been some new developments in regards to the plot of No Time to Die. First is that according to several sources, the ultimate ladies' man is about to become a father. According to a call sheet that went up on sale on the auction site eBay, Scene 235 of No Time to Die describes Lynch's character piloting a boat with Madeleine and a third character, a young 5-year-old child named Matilda, played by actress Lisa Doros-Son. In an earlier scene in the movie, Rami Malek's character Safin is said to be chasing a young girl across the ice in Norway. While this may seem out of left field, there is some precedent for this. The literary version of the James Bond character did father a child in Japan named James with the character Kissy Suzuki, a child he had little contact with even after Kissy Suzuki's death from cancer. In the short story Blast from the Past, written by Raymond Benson and first appearing in the January 1997 issue of Playboy magazine, James Suzuki is murdered in New York by Spectre agent Irma Bunt. Fatherhood for James Bond would seem to be antithetical for the character. A child would present a liability for a secret agent. It would also necessitate that because of the nature of the work that Bond would have to be, by no choice of his own, an absentee father. So much so that the idea was lampooned in the Austin Powers film Goldmember, with Michael Caine playing Nigel Powers to Mike Myers' Austin Powers. Though it would satisfy many non-fans' questions of why James Bond has never had a child, it would still not fit the character as we know it. It would seem that this would not be the only development in the story. Rumors have been circulating that Fleabag and Killing Eve creator Phoebe Waller-Bridge has been tapped to create a spin-off film based on the new character of Matilda, where James Bond trains Matilda to be a secret agent herself. It should be noted that if true, this would not be the first attempt to create a James Bond spin-off. In the early 2000s, a film series based on Halle Berry's character Jinx from Die Another Day was planned. However, those plans were jettisoned when the studio became leery of the $80 million proposed budget, a decision which reportedly infuriated James Bond producer Barbara Broccoli. A new character would seem to be not the only change for the James Bond series. Back in March, Midnight's Edge published a video saying that the release of the film No Time to Die had been delayed, which may have been due to test screenings not having gone over as well as the studio would have liked them to. One of the plot points mentioned in the Daily Mail article is that in No Time to Die, James Bond will save the world from a biological pandemic. Now, a source close to Midnight's Edge has come forward with more information. As previously stated, the following information cannot be independently verified and must be treated as rumor. Please be advised that you should take it with a grain of salt. The source claims to be in communication with someone at Denjack, the holding company that deals with the James Bond copyrights, and says that approval for 2 reshoots has been given the go-ahead for next week. These moves are to change plot beats that tested poorly with audiences. Those plot beats in question were pertaining to a global viral outbreak, something that was believed to hit a little too close to home with the current pandemic that the world still finds itself in the grips of. Though Midnight's Edge cannot validate these claims, there's some reason to suspect there may be some truth to them. Founded after the release of Dr. No, Danjaq is the holding company established by Albert R. Broccoli and Harry Saltzman. The name is derived from their wives, Dana Broccoli and Jacqueline Saltzman. The company administers the copyrights to the James Bond film franchise. In 1975, Saltzman and Broccoli sold 50% of the company to United Artists after some financial difficulty. In the mid-1980s, the company reacquired their 50% stake in Danjaq back from United Artists. This information would seem to align with a video published by Midnight's Edge on March 5th that certain aspects of No Time to Die didn't test well with test audiences. To have the decision come from Danjaq would seem to indicate that the decision to undergo reshoots in this late stage of the game would mean that someone in the James Bond hierarchy believes there is something systemically wrong with the film. In a tweet on the official James Bond Twitter feed, there is no mention of the global pandemic as to why the film was delayed, only the global marketplace. If this inside information is accurate, then No Time to Die may be facing bigger problems than just audiences that are reluctant to return to cinemas. Of all the foes that James Bond has faced on screen and in literature, it would seem that his undoing may come from the back rooms of movie studios and not the secret lair of a crazed villain bent on world domination. Let us know what you think, and let us know if you're excited to see the next James Bond movie in the comments. And don't forget to check out our all-new Midnight's Edge merchandise, including The Last Jedi is Not Canon and Release the Snyder Cut t-shirts at mixtees.com.